Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Pitch.
The graphics are back!
The graphics are back, probably over here. We have the whole crew with us today, and we have a couple topics we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about the signings that went down lately, and those would mainly be Kyle Ganino signing with the Express and Lane Traver signing with the Bambinos. Kale, why don't you give us the details on those?
Kyle, which is the biggest one, re-signed with the Express for $14 over 2 seasons, so $7 each. But he has an opt-out option after the first, which he's going to use, obviously, because the cap's going to go up and he's going to want to get paid a ton of money.
Huh.
And then Lane was signed to the Bambinos. I remember Lane played for the Bambinos in JL. 12 was his rookie debut, and then he got cut going into 13. Anyway, they re-signed him going into 14 now for $5 a season for 5 seasons. And the first 2 seasons of the contract are guaranteed money, probably because he didn't want to get, if he gets cut again like last time, probably wants to make sure he gets paid still. But he has an opt-out option after 2, which, anyone who makes sure to have an opt-out option in their contract, like 90% of the time is going to use it. So, yeah. Those are the fine print details. Now I want to hear some analysis. Let's start with Tierney.
I'm just kind of interested.
On Kyle first.
Oh,
Kyle.
On Kyle.
We'll do Kyle first, then Lane.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sign for, the Missouri Express. Because if they didn't have Kyle, they're going to go down the crapper. For being honest. They didn't have a whole lot to work with if they didn't have Kyle. I don't think so.
Even picking up Sean, they wouldn't have been competitive still?
They would have been competitive, but they wouldn't have had that arm.
Yeah.
Who's going to pitch for him?
Yeah.
So, good of him to get Kyle back.
Ty, are you surprised that they got Kyle at all?
No. I always thought Kyle would go back to the Express. Look, they got Sean, Kyle's brother. They got Marcus Deo, Kyle's friend. I would be very surprised if he didn't sign back with the Express.
Now, it made for a really stressful offseason for the owner of that team, Garrett Blaine, because of the reasons you guys just said. Like, if they lost him, they'd be in really big trouble.
Yeah.
But he's probably going to use that opt-out option after 14, so Garrett's just going to be right back in the same situation of trying to, get him back. Do you think this is kind of far out now because it's a season away still, but do you think he'll re-up with the Express again? Or if they didn't win it, maybe again? What do you see?
I think he will, because there will be more money for Garrett Blaine to work with, and
Garrett Blaine will use that money.
He'll use that to his advantage. I think he'll get the first thing he'll make sure he does is get Kyle and Brad back.
Yeah.
On the same team, and then he'll worry about the rest of the stuff. So I think they'll be back again. But as of this signing, I wasn't surprised either, mainly because Marcus Deo, because I'm guessing Kyle was the one who told him to sign him anyways.
Yeah. And Garrett did say when they got to that point and the cap is up to $65 per season, that he would try to probably make Kyle the first $100 value player. So and a long-term deal, so it'd be something ridiculous like 3 seasons for $150 or 4 for $200. It'd be ridiculous, but I think that's Garrett's plan. Kyle, I'm sure, will take it. So yeah, I think. Well, let's talk about the Bambinos a little bit here. Oh, we should first mention Nate and Brad Williamson, if you aren't aware. They're out for the JL14. And they're both going to wait to sign their new contracts, so they're both free agents until after, which is definitely smart of them to do, don't you guys think?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting, too.
Because, you wouldn't want to sign with the team and then a bunch of things change, and when you come back, you're locked in with that team with a contract, and it's you want to see what the landscape of the league is when you get to that point. But the Bambinos, Brock, if Nate would have still been on this team, there's no way Lane gets that deal, is there?
No, I don't think so. I think if Nate would have been available for this tournament, I think they would have just kept it the way it was with just him and Tyler, and just kept the 2 players instead of trying to get someone else. and probably I still think they would have cut Caleb anyways.
The
So no, I don't.
cutting doesn't surprise anyone.
That was a good
No.
move on Brian Williams' part.
No,
Ouch.
I think if Nate was available, it would have just been those two. But since he's not, I think picking up Lane's probably a good move.
There's two teams we've really been talking about here, and they're the two best probably run franchises. I think we've got to this. We were all kind of in agreement here. The Bambinos and the Express with their ownership and whatever. Which franchise do you think is the better franchise in terms of management, and which one would you rather want to play for?
Who's this going to?
You can start with you.
Well, okay. I would. It's a hard question. Who's better? I think the Express are better, just ownership-wise, simply because Garrett is doing it from Missouri. I mean, they're both very good. They both won titles. They've assembled incredible teams. But Garrett knows no one, and he's doing it from halfway across the country. So that's the only reason I would say Garrett over Brian and Hunter. But who I would rather play for, I don't know. Because the Bambinos are it's like a family over there. They're a bunch of loyal cats. But Garrett would pay the money. Garrett would pay the money.
Well,
so.
something's going on with the Bambinos. When you get a player like Tyler Traver says, I'm going to sign a 5-season deal for only one season, or for only $1 every season, just because I want to be with the Bambinos like that. It says a lot about. Who would you guys rather play for, and which you think's better?
I agree with Ty on the Express probably being better just because of where he's at, and he can't be here to actually see the players or anything like that. So I think that's really impressive. But I would almost rather play for Brian.
Brian? I love Brian.
I think he cracks me up. I think it'd be so fun to play
Shout out
with
to
him.
Brian for being hardcore.
Well, Hunter
he's so real.
Hunter doesn't get enough credit either, though, because Hunter is in Germany in the
That's
army
true.
or whatever, and he's still just as invested in it as Brian, and they work together really well. I mean, from what I'm told, is Brian oversees stuff at the at the jails, and I don't know what else.
Analysis.
But yeah, analysis.
There's
Analysis. That's what I meant. Well, does their practices, evaluates the players. But from what I'm told, is Hunter is the one that negotiates the deals with the players and works out the contracts with them, because he knows the players more personally because he's more their age and whatever. So he does all that, and Brian does the evaluation of who's good and where they should be playing and all that. So it's a really good thing they got going over there. That being said, I think without Nate, they're going to have a tough time repeating. Yeah.
For me, I'll answer the question real quick. I think that Garrett is, I agree with both of you because of what you said. Garrett's probably the best so far. I mean, we'll see going forward. But it kind of depends on the player, depending on who you want to play for. I think if you're a player who likes money, I think you'd go with Garrett.
Yeah.
But for me, if I was still playing in the league, I'd want to play for Brian and Hunter.
All right, let's talk about all the free agents now, besides the Williamson boys, and that's just kind of an unordinary situation. But all the free agents, basically, all the veteran free agents, that is, are kind of snagged up at this point. They've all kind of signed with the team. The one that's left, though, is Jacob Braun. And we don't really know what's going on with the Fog and him. They're in negotiations, I guess, but no offers have been made. And, the Waves, reportedly a couple days ago, made him a $10 a season offer.
Such a bad
And
offer.
he's considering it.
Oh my gosh.
But how do you think this is going to play out?
What are you doing, Anthony? Oh my
Well,
gosh.
Anthony's reasoning was that he needs a pitcher.
Yeah, he does.
But I don't know if Jacob's
Jacob's not a pitcher.
Well, he's
He'll do his little flip thing, and
at this point in his career, and with the talent that's in the league, Jacob's a relief pitcher. He's not a starting pitcher. But, I mean, Brock, is he going to stay with the Fog? Are they going to make him an offer?
I think he will, yeah. I think Darren will end up making him an offer.
Well,
and
what's taking him?
it won't be $10. It won't. But Jacob will still take it because I think he likes playing with Lucas and Darren. What would you ask me?
Why is this taking so long between him and the Fog? I mean, you would have thought with him and Jacob being as goofy and stupid as they are together, they would have worked out a deal immediately when Jacob became a free agent. But now we're like,
that's a good question. I really don't know the answer to. Maybe Darren is actually thinking about going in a different direction, trying to improve the roster. I don't know.
But
Darren, Jacob will be on the team come JL 14. Does anyone disagree with that?
No, I agree. I think Darren might be trying to build some kind of like
drama.
Yeah, which why would that be surprising to anybody? So
that's all they do.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not surprised, but I think Jacob will be on the team for 14
because he is minority owner. And
yeah,
if he went somewhere, he'd have to give that up too. No.
Yeah, let's talk about the power rankings real quick before we go here, because those came out a day or so ago. We, 4 of us, came up with our own and mashed them together basically to make
we had some
the final ones. We disagreed on it. Oh, we had some complaints from the other people. Yeah, the Bambinos at number 4 thought they were too low.
Surprise.
Well, we'll just run through it first, and then So give them if they haven't seen it.
If they haven't seen it, number 1's the Express, number 2 is the Rapids, 3 is the Cobras, 4 is the Bambinos, 5 is the Mafia, 6 is the Wrecking Crew, 7 the Fog, 8 the Storm, 9 the Underdogs, 10 the Waves, 11 Bison, and 12 the Lynx. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that how it will be at the start of when JL 14 starts? What's going to change between now and then? What has the best chance of moving? Which teams?
I'm
going to say the Lynx.
It's got to be.
The Lynx won't be number 12 when it starts.
They only have 1 person on their team right now.
Yeah.
They got to sign someone.
They'll sign someone.
And Jolyn has proven to be a good owner.
Yes.
She'll make sure the team is ready to go for 14. But right now it looks bad. Yeah. The other one I would say that may move up is the Storm, because they're 8 right now. And going into last season, they were really low too.
They did well, though.
They did well.
Somehow.
And the reason I'm going to say this is there's not that many free agents left out there. There's rookies, obviously, that you can sign. But Cal Koopman, since becoming an owner for the Storm, has been one of the most active owners in trade talks and all that kind of stuff. He's constantly trying to make trades. So I could see something happening where they, improve that way.
That was the best trade ever. The Colby Gaston trade. That was because he got $35 for Colby Gaston. Colby Gaston, $35.
But he was the Storm's probably, we all agree, best player. I don't think that hurt them. No.
Maybe a little, but I don't think it hurts them that much. I'll say this: if the Waves can get a pitcher, they'll move up too, which is possible because they only have. They have what, 3 players, 2, 3 players right now? If they can get a pitcher, though, I think they move up.
But that pitcher should also not be Jacob Braun.
No.
If it's Jacob Braun, do they move even farther down? Do they move below the Bison?
No, they just.
I don't think so.
Because if they got Jacob Braun, he'd probably still be the best pitcher on the team. Right now, they don't have.
Well, yeah.
So
the only
I think they at least stay where they are.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we moving on to the last one now?
What's the last one?
The Cobras thing? Didn't you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the Cobras a little bit. If the Cobras don't perform like
they should
championship level good in the next season, will it be time for Drew, who's the new owner of the team now, to just blow up the roster? I'm sorry, because Sullivan's just not been clutch.
I don't understand this question. I don't understand why this is even being talked about.
So you're saying no.
And Drew has actually thought about doing this. Is that correct?
Well,
because if he has, it's dumb. You have the third. What don't we have him as like the third best player in the league or pitcher? Or
okay,
something?
But let me say
top 5.
But
what?
The reason if Sullivan has another season where he dominates the regular season, gets into the playoffs, and just collapses again and loses to a team that's not as talented, Do you just keep going with it, or what do you think?
Me or Tierney?
Tierney, because I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think going down the same path is a good idea. Obviously, it's not working. But at the same time, you don't want to lose what you have because it's a good team. Yeah. On paper, that's a great team. It just isn't working for some reason.
You can't put together a much better team than what you have. And let's talk about this for a second. Sullivan has collapsed one time.
Twice. Twice.
No, because let's be real. You were terrible in the regular season of JL10. And you came out of nowhere and were the best. You were a better pitcher in that game than Michael.
But
when they lost to the Storm, let me finish. When they lost to the
Which
Storm,
should count as 5
Tyler Hudson was not the best pitcher in that game. You guys just couldn't hit the ball for one, and he was like a C pitcher in that game, but he was still better than Tyler Hudson.
But
so it wasn't. He's collapsed one time, and if you guys wouldn't have been so bad before that and been in such a big hole, you could have gave him relief with Dad pitching, and he would have had more rest. He would have been able to pitch better. So really, it's a team thing more than just.
Let me say this. What was the final score?
That's what I was going to say of the Rapids one.
Not the Rapids. Okay, you go first.
Okay, the Rapids one in JL10 when he collapsed. They didn't just lose. I was on that team with them. They didn't just lose. He gave up 6 runs, most of them out of walks.
Yeah, we weren't a very good hitting team.
To the Rapids, and then the Rapids batting isn't great. It hasn't been. It should be good now that you have Jordan. But and then against the Storm, 3 runs, and most of those were walks too. He just gets in the playoffs.
Answer me this:
and he starts walking people.
In those losses, how many runs did you guys score?
0 and 2.
If you're going with 0 runs, he needs help with the bats, and he needs a relief pitcher. You have both of those. You just don't use them at the right times, or you suck early in the tournament, so you can't throw a relief pitcher. It's a team thing. Yes, he needs to be better in those games, but still.
Todd,
don't blow up the team.
If you're Drew, you blow it up after the season if the Cobras.
No, okay. Blowing up the team is ridiculous. But if Michael loses the game again like he has, that's like a Michael thing. He needs to either get paid less for just not doing what he's supposed to do, or just reevaluate himself or something. I agree with Brock. It's a great team. Great team. Always good in the playoffs. Not the playoffs. The regular season. In the regular season. And then it's just one game where it goes down the crapper. You just got one game. You just got to pull it out. You don't need to blow up the roster
I think the reason this is all being brought up is because the Cobras have more championships than anyone, but they haven't won since JL8. And I know myself and Brock's the former, founded the team. We used to play the team. And then, just anyone within the Cobras organizations will get a little frustrated. But that's the reason for the discussion. All right. Wrap it up, Brock.
Okay. That is it for this episode of The Pitch. I don't know what we got come out later. Probably some other videos sometime. Stay on Facebook, see all that stuff. See you later.